Now and then, history repeats itself, or at least gives us a little deja vu. It's actually kind of a good thing. If we can recall that something happened in the past, maybe we can actually use that historical context. So before you say that something is unprecedented, take a pause and rewind a bit. Let's put the historical lens on abortion. It's back in the spotlight. A big reason why? The power shift on the Supreme Court has opened the door to overturning Roe v. Wade. President Trump appointed 2 conservative justices. First, Neil Gorsuch, and then, who could forget the nomination battle surrounding Brett Kavanaugh? Well, he was confirmed, and now there's a conservative majority on the court. And cue the lawsuits. States like Alabama, Georgia, Missouri, Ohio have all passed super restrictive abortion laws. The goal? Get in front of those justices. So what happens now? Who knows? But we have been here before, back in 1992. So what happened then? So, to lay the groundwork, it was another conservative era on the High Court. President Ronald Reagan had put Sandra Day O'Connor, Antonin Scalia, and Anthony Kennedy on the bench. And then George H.W. Bush came in and appointed David Souter and Clarence Thomas, another controversial nomination, by the way. So that's 5 conservative justices. Just like what we're seeing now, back then, states also started proposing and passing bills to restrict abortion. So Utah stirred up a lot of controversy when it passed the strictest law in the country. It outlawed all abortions except in cases of rape or incest or when the life of the mother was at stake. Well, that got a really heated response across the country, and the ACLU, which famously advocates for abortion rights, took out this ad in the New York Times. In Utah, they know how to punish a woman who has an abortion. Shoot her. Yeah. It was really intense. And then Guam actually took it up a notch. They passed a law that didn't even include the rape or incest exception. So there was a lot of fire coming from both sides on this issue. But what's interesting is the Supreme Court actually didn't take any of those cases. The case that they did take was based on a Pennsylvania law that actually wasn't quite as radical as the ones in Utah and Guam. But it had huge implications. It became known as Planned Parenthood versus Casey. That's a pretty key lesson for right now. The Supreme Court isn't likely to take up a radical challenge to Roe v. Wade where they'd be forced to directly overturn it. They don't want to take that precedent head on. They're more likely to take a more nuanced case that leaves room for loosening protections for abortion. And that's kind of what happened in the 1992 case Planned Parenthood versus Casey. That lawsuit came out of the Pennsylvania Abortion Control Act, signed into law by Governor Casey in 1989. It didn't straight up outlaw abortion, but it did severely restrict it. And it had provisions like requiring that a woman notify her husband. Hey, can I grab those tapes? Awesome. When the Supreme Court took up the case, everyone knew that meant Roe was under threat. Anti-abortion groups were sure that this was their moment, and even abortion rights groups agreed that this could mean the end of Roe. The anticipation was intense, and it played out in the streets, with activism and protests on both sides.
New York will become an abortion battleground this week. The anti-abortion rights organization Operation Rescue is planning massive protests there, designed to shut down abortion clinics. Pro-abortion rights groups vowed to turn out in force to keep those clinics open.
No doubt that there will be a fight over abortion outside the convention hall in Houston.
Will we sit in front of doors to save children's lives of clinics in Houston? Yes, we will.
The idea is that the pro-choice community will outnumber them in the streets the way we do in the city.
Planned Parenthood versus Casey bears the name of Pennsylvania Governor Robert Casey, who last year signed one of the strictest abortion regulation laws in the nation. That became the Supreme Court case. This morning, Governor Casey is in Harrisburg with some thoughts on the High Court's decision. Good morning, Governor Casey.
Good morning, Katie.
Now that you've had time to digest and more or less examine the ruling, do you consider it a victory for your side this morning?
In talking to our attorneys yesterday, it's a mixed result.
What finally happened surprised everyone. In a 5-4 ruling and a long, multi-part decision, the Supreme Court reaffirmed the essence of Roe v. Wade. One big surprise, Reagan appointee Anthony Kennedy voted to uphold the constitutional right to an abortion. He was reportedly set to vote the other way, and then at the very last minute, changed his mind. But here's the thing. Even though the decision reaffirmed Roe v. Wade, it also kind of changed the law. The Casey ruling created the undue burden test for whether a regulation violates a woman's constitutional right. The problem is, what actually constitutes an undue burden isn't exactly clear. And that ambiguity opened the door for states to enact more regulations. And in a lot of ways, that laid the groundwork that brought us to where we are now.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.